Hi, this is part 3 of the video I'm doing on Liberty Hill, South Carolina, where the strange occurrences where I felt strange, odd, I felt a dark energy, almost like I was in a time warp. That was in January of this year, 2021. It is now April. Anyway, excuse me, it's late. You guys might be wondering why I didn't address how I felt in the last video. The first time I went through Liberty Hill, which was back in January of 2021, I felt very strange, very odd. It was just nothing like I'd ever felt before. I don't know if it was paranormal. I honestly, I don't know. And then I went back the next day and I didn't feel anything. Okay, I went today and I really didn't feel anything. It was a nice day. It was a warm day. It was a good day to take pictures. A good day for the video. Did kind of start to rain a little bit, but didn't really ever pan out. Although it was a bit overcast. But other than that, it was a nice day. It was warm. So I left Liberty Hill and now I'm down here at the truck stop. Now, I was planning on going to Substation back in Camden, but I just decided I don't want to drive on that road, South Carolina Highway 97, for like 40 miles because there's too big of a risk of running into deer, hitting a deer. So I didn't want to do that. So I decided to go to Subway in Lancaster. And I'm not going to stay on here too long because I definitely want to eat. Anyway, I went to Lancaster, went to Subway, and it actually took longer to get to the truck stop than I thought. So it was about 12 miles from South Carolina 97, where I took my right-hand turn to go to Lancaster. It was actually about 12 miles, and then about another 12 down here to the truck stop. So about 24 miles. Anyway, like I said, I didn't feel anything strange this time. There was nothing. It just felt normal. And so and that brings me to my next thought, and that is, and I've been thinking about this for a few days, or maybe even a week, maybe two. I've been wondering if it's possible that I could have manifested manifest destiny. If somehow or another I manifested it. There's two things that I've been thinking about. One, did I somehow manifest it because I kept thinking and worrying about breaking down? I did kind of worry about that a little bit. I didn't mean to, but I kind of did. And I put it down to, overactive imagination, because I kept getting kind of like a bad feeling, like I was going to break down or something, but I kind of dismissed it as overactive imagination. Or just worry. And so I kind of wonder if that kept cropping into my mind, if maybe somehow I manifested the accident I was in. Anyway, about a month ago, I was rear-ended by a tractor trailer. It was a 3-vehicle accident. He hit me, causing me to hit an SUV. I did get stopped. I thought as soon as I got stopped, that was that. But anyway, no such luck. The tractor trailer hit me, and anyway, and now I do have some pain. I do have numbness in my arms and hands, and so I'm having some issues. Hold on, let me turn this light back on. I hate that. It keeps timing out. I really hate that. But anyway, I'm not going to stay on here that long. I just want to touch base tonight. The other thing that I've been thinking about that's been really concerning to me is, aside from the manifest destiny, is if somehow this was a warning, the bad feeling I got, I'm wondering if somehow or another, possibly it was some type of a warning, and I didn't know it, because it wasn't the only time that I felt or got this bad feeling, but not to that degree. I would just get a little bad feeling here and there. It was even later, a week or so late, or a few days later, when I went to Sumter, South Carolina, I still kind of felt that odd feeling, like something wasn't right. But you know, and it kept coming into my mind, you know, breakdown or something's going to happen. And so I just, again, I put it down to overactive imagination and worry. You know, I don't know why. I mean, the car had 163,000 miles, so, you know, it's a lot of miles, you know, and it was 14 years old, so, you know, there's a good chance, you know, that there's going to be a breakdown. But I mean, I never had an issue with the car, so but to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what, if I don't know if somehow I manifested it. I don't know if it was a warning. Maybe it was a combination of both. I don't know. Or maybe it was nothing at all. I don't know. What I do know is that it was a very strange feeling. It was the strangest, oddest occurrence that I've ever had. And I've had some very strange ones in the past, but this was one of the weirdest that I've ever had. So, that said, I honestly don't know. Like I said, warning, maybe not. Maybe I manifested it. I don't know. But what I do know is right now, this is part 3, and I will be back to talk about it a little bit more, a little bit later, tomorrow perhaps. But right now, I'm really, really hungry, and I want to eat something. So, anyway, I got my Subway. I need to eat. I think that's about it. I'm at my final stop, and my stomach's been bothering me a bit. One thing I will say about truck stops is the one thing I hate. I'm sitting here, I come back to my car, and some guy in a van pulls up right next to me. I hate that. And it's not that he pulls up right next to me, you know, it's one of those big Transit Connect vans, so it's a big van. You know, gonna camp in it, you know, who knows, probably sleep in it, whatever, traveling in it, who knows. But the point is what really bugs me is pulling in next to me and then just sitting there in the driver's seat and just looking over, and you know, and I hate that. It's a busy truck stop, so I'm not worried, I'm not concerned, because of the fact that this one is a very, very busy truck stop. So that doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about that per se. What does bother me or bug me is pulling in right next to me and then sitting there and watching. That does bug me. The other thing is, when I was here the last time in January, it was very cold, and there were 2 people that were here. One, was a guy in a Dodge Challenger, and he was here for a long time. As a matter of fact, I left and then came back about a month later, and the guy in the Dodge Challenger was still here, and there was a guy in a Ford Excursion who was also here for probably a month and a half, 2 months. They're not here now, so I guess at some point they finally had to leave. Anyway, I would like to talk a little more about this whole manifest destiny and maybe possible warnings, but I'd like to maybe do a little research first and you know, get my thoughts together. It's late. I want to eat. So for now, good night for now. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Hi guys, I'm back. I just decided to go on and finish this video tonight. I'm ready to eat, so I'm not going to make this too long. I did a little bit of research. I wasn't able to find anything on manifesting destiny and or as a warning, what I was talking about earlier with the negative energy and the odd occurrences in the area of Liberty Hill, South Carolina. I wasn't able to really find anything, and I'm not going to delve any further into that. If I find more information or I want to share more thoughts, then I may come back and do a separate video on manifesting destiny. But right now, I'm just simply going to conclude this video on Liberty Hill, South Carolina. As I said earlier, I didn't experience anything odd, nothing out of the ordinary, not as I did the first time. The first time was very odd, very strange, and I've had a lot of other strange experiences in the past, nothing to that extent, but I have had others, and I will come back and talk about those later, probably as I go down my memory, because I'm doing another kind of another little multiple video posts about walking down memory lane, because I've done quite a few posts on the one on after the accident where my car was wrecked, and I'm still doing those, but I'm bringing those kind of to an end. Anyway, so it's late, I'm tired, I just want to conclude this video. I did find one piece of interesting information, and I actually don't think that this is in South Carolina. I never could find anything that really said where it was. But what little I did read from it, I believe that it was actually in Texas, a place in Texas called Liberty Hill. But anyway, it's an interesting story, and I'll just share that real briefly. It was a very interesting story. A family cemetery, apparently, for years has been being vandalized. It has been being vandalized because people have spread the idea and spread the word that it's haunted. Supposedly haunted by a black woman who was a slave, a slave black woman who apparently was hanged for witchcraft back in the 1800s, 1864 to be exact. Anyway, so I read the article, and it's quite a long one actually, and come to find out, apparently this story about her being hanged for witchcraft, etc., is circulated around the internet and just keeps being circulated, and the vandalism has been going on for a long time. But anyway, so I read the article, come to find out, one, her name is Elizabeth Simpson. One, she's not black, she's white, and she was not hanged for witchcraft. Anyway, so I don't know who started that crazy story, but apparently someone started a crazy story about this woman being a slave and hanged for witchcraft, and just unbelievable. In fact, the article says that there's even not an article, but a little snippet about it on findagrave.com, and then ancestry.com. I guess you use that information from Find a Grave to, I don't know, the link to it or something. Anyway, and so apparently this so-called white woman who was a slave and hanged for witchcraft is supposedly haunted and circulating around on the internet. Anyway, just bunch of crap, bunch of garbage. Which brings me to another place I visited a few years back. I visited another place called Stoll Cemetery out in Kansas, and supposedly the stuff on the internet says it's the most haunted cemetery in the country. I didn't find that, but anyway, come to find out, the whole story on Stoll Cemetery got started by a college student back in the early 1980s. Some college student wrote an article for the college newspaper and talked about it being haunted, and for some reason, I guess it just grew legs, and it just kept, it just got bigger and bigger, and the stories got bigger and bigger, and people started visiting supposedly every year on Halloween, waiting for the devil to appear, just crazy stuff. But anyway, back to Liberty Hill, South Carolina, I could not find really any information that pertains to what I wanted to discuss, which was manifesting destiny, or perhaps the strange odd feelings that I had being a warning. I have not been able to find that, and I didn't do a lot of research. Not tonight. I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. So anyway, and I'm going to wrap this video. Coming up, tomorrow, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of a long way from Rembert Church in Sumter. So, and that's my next stop. That's kind of the next thing I want to do. So that's the next thing on my list. As far as Liberty Hill, I'm done with that. I've already taken all the pictures, did the video, so I'm done. Coming up, I want to, would like to go, I want to revisit Rembert Church and do a video there. And possibly maybe come back and talk about manifesting destiny. Anyway, it's late. This is definitely the last video. I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. So, good night. Good day, good night. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, subscribe. And that's, God bless. Peace.